There's list subtitled Hecabe's Second Complaint. Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have ordained them as a judgment, and you, O Rock, have established them for reproof. You are of pure eyes than to see, and cannot look at wrong. Why do you idly look at traitors and remain silent when the wicked swallows up, and the man more righteous than he? You make mankind like the fish of the sea, like crawling things that have no ruler. He brings all of them up with a hook. He drags them out with his net. He gathers them in his dragnet, and he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and makes offerings to his dragnet, for by them he lives in luxury, and his food is rich. Is he then to keep on emptying his net and mercilessly killing nations forever? Chapter 2. I will take my stand at my watchpost and station myself on the tower, and look out to see what he will say to me, and what I will answer concerning my complaint. And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come, it will not delay. Behold, his soul is puffed up, it is not upright within him, but the righteous shall live by his faith. Amen.
We have an interesting picture that was made. Faithful unto death, Edward Poynter, very well-known artist in England. He was an uncle of Rudyard Kipling, uncle of Stanley Baldwin, who later became the Prime Minister of England. In 1865, when he painted this, interest in Pompeii was at its height. And so here we have a Roman soldier standing in the gateway, standing in the door, and you can see a little bit of flames falling. He has a little bit of fear in his face, but he is going to stay at his post, faithful unto death. And this painting became well known and highly regarded, particularly by missionaries, for about 60 to 70 years afterwards. An inspiring image about a man who's going to stand his post. And here we have Habakkuk, and he says in chapter 2, I will stand at my watch post and station myself on the rampart. And so we'd like to take a look at Habakkuk. This is the third lesson that I presented on this minor prophet, with a lot of very interesting lessons and valuable lessons for us. And just for a quick recap of what's gone on here, it begins with Habakkuk complaining to God that Judah is evil, Jerusalem is evil. And he says, Lord, how long are you going to allow this evil to continue? And we can identify with him because we hear the news today and we say, Lord, this society is getting worse and worse. How can this continue? Can't you do something about it? So basically he's saying, God, why are you not stepping in? Why are you not getting involved? He doesn't understand why God will not do something. He's like us. But like Habakkuk, we can pray to God. We can ask, we can plead, and we can be confident that God knows what is going on and God is in control. And then God responds and he says, I will do it. Don't worry, Habakkuk. But the thing is, what I'm going to do is unbelievable. Even if I explain it to you, you are not going to fully understand. The Babylonians, the Chaldeans, are going to come and they are going to take over. They're going to destroy Jerusalem. They're going to take over Judah. The wicked nation will come and it will purge Judah. And this is shocking. This is not the answer that Habakkuk expects. He expected God to do something different, but why are you going to send these wicked, evil people? God gives hard answers sometimes, and sometimes God's answers seem like more of a problem. And I'm glad when Dan began the reading, he said, this is the second thing that Habakkuk is going to say to God. So now Habakkuk addresses God, and he says, you, God, starting in verse 12, you're from of old, you don't die, you are holy. So how is it that you can use wickedness? How can you use evilness? So he acknowledges God's character right off the bat. But there's a problem coming from that. If God is holy and God knows Judah is bad and he can't tolerate that Judah is bad, why would he take somebody who is even worse? Why would he take these Chaldeans, these Babylonians? Why does he allow them to swallow up us? And he describes these people. And it might seem a little bit confusing, what's this about the fish and the dragnet and whatnot? Like they're just going to come in and they're going to scoop us up and they are going to capture us and they're going to destroy us. It is difficult for Habakkuk to understand. And the point is, sometimes God's hard answers make us question God even more. And so we see a number of questions that Dan read to us. Why do you look on the treacherous? Why are you silent when the wicked are swallowing up righteous people? Why are you treating us like fish of the sea? Why are we like crawling things that have no ruler? Why can these people grab us? And why can they rejoice and exult in their evil, in their wickedness? And why are you allowing them to sacrifice to false gods? They're sacrificing to their nets. Why, God? Why? And how long are they going to do it? Are they going to keep on swallowing up all the other nations as well as us? So he's got a lot of questions. How can God do this? How can he allow them to get away with it? Don't be surprised when you have more questions when God helps you out and you think that his helping you is actually more of a problem. Now, Habakkuk here is not telling God anything he does not know. Habakkuk already said, or Habakkuk was already told in his first answer by God that God is going to rouse the Chaldeans. He calls them that fierce and impetuous nation. He describes how evil they are. Dread and fearsome are they, earlier in Habakkuk, the first response of God to Habakkuk. So God knows these things. And when you cry to God and you say, God, why are you doing this? Because it's this and this and this. God knows. God understands. He understands us. He loves us, just as he loves Habakkuk here. And God told Habakkuk in verse 5, what I'm going to tell you can't be believed. It's unbelievable, but I'm telling you anyway, Habakkuk. So God knows that his answer is hard, and he knows that Habakkuk is going to have a hard time with these questions, with these problems, with these solutions. And that's the same for you and I today. When you have problems and you pray to God and you say, please help me out, Lord, and he's working, but he seems to be giving you something even worse, listen to him, and you can ask him, you can question him, and understand that God knows what he is doing. So the stance that Habakkuk agrees to take is this. In 2 and 1, he says, I will stand at my watch post. I will keep watch to see what he will say to me and what he will answer concerning my complaint. You see what Habakkuk is doing? He is being faithful, faithful unto death. And why can he be faithful to God? He who calls you is faithful. We know God is faithful to us, and our response should be faithfulness towards him. Now, Habakkuk, we see, doesn't think he won the argument. He doesn't think he's convinced God that God is wrong. He knows, I will wait for his answer. God will answer my complaint. God knows what I'm talking about. He doesn't think he's won his argument. He needs God's latest answer. And when you have a problem and you pray to God and he seems to help you out, but it seems even more difficult, know that there's going to be another response to it. Habakkuk doesn't expect God to give him a quick and easy answer. He knows there's going to be a point here. And the point is that we can have questions. We often have questions, even when we don't understand. And Habakkuk isn't really challenging God. He knows that God is not stumped, and we can know that God is not stumped either, even when we are. Oftentimes, we fail to understand what God is doing. And God says that plainly to Habakkuk, and gently and kindly. You're not going to believe it, Habakkuk. And you just insert your name. You're not going to believe it, your name, but I'm still in control. Be faithful. I'm faithful to you. Be faithful to me. God is right, and he will teach us. This is found in the New Testament as well. James 1, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. God doesn't find fault with Habakkuk when Habakkuk questions him. God doesn't find fault with you when you question him. He understands where we are at. Sometimes we think we're the only individual who has this problem. God knows all the problems in the world. He's seen them for generations upon generations. Nothing that we face is anything new. We're also assured that also in the New Testament. So ask God for wisdom. He will give it to you. And Habakkuk is doing that very thing here. I will keep watch and I will see what he says to me. He knows God is going to give him an answer. And God provides him a 2-point answer. Get ready, Habakkuk. I already told you this is going to be difficult. The Lord answers, write the vision. Make it plain on tablets so that a runner may read it. So we've got the round the bay race today. And if some runner is going past me, some harrier zipping by, and I hold this up, he's not going to be able to read it. And that's not what people hold up. They hold up big signs with big letters on it. Keep going, or only 3 miles or 3 kilometers or whatever to go. Right on a sign so that people who are running by, so all the people in Judah can see it, plain letters, because this message is sure. This message is certain. God's response sometimes seems slow in coming. That's how Habakkuk started off this and the whole thing. Lord, how long are you going to let this go on without answering my prayer? But God's response is certain. And God says, you just wait and write this on a sign so that the runners may read it. For there is still a vision for the appointed time. God has his times, appointed times. It speaks of the end and does not lie. My answer is definitive. It's certain. It doesn't lie. And I know exactly when it is going to take place. God knows what he's going to do. And we learn from this very thing, the appointed time. God is never late. Yeah, our friends can be late. We can be late for God is never late. Now, when we were talking about Habakkuk earlier on, we jumped to the New Testament. An example from Jesus. Mary and Martha sent a message. Jesus, come and heal our brother, the one you love. And as far as they were concerned, Jesus was late. He didn't get there until Lazarus had died. Now, why was Jesus late? He knew what he was going to do. He knew what the answer was. He knew how he was going to act, and he was confident in that, and he wasn't late. He arrived after Lazarus had died on purpose. He told his disciples, we're letting him sleep, the sleep of death. And then he performed the amazing miracle, the resurrection of Lazarus. So you've got to maintain your faith and realize that God is not going to be late. Now, what is on the sign? Oh, God says, if it seems to tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. And then this is a sign. Look at the proud. So look at the proud here in Jerusalem. Look at the proud in Judah. Look at the proud Babylonians, the Chaldeans. Their spirit is not right in them, but the righteous live by their faithfulness. So you've got two people, those who please God, those who do not please God. You've got the good, you've got the wicked. The arrogant, the proud, the self-sufficient, they are in a direct contrast to the man who is faithful, those who are living by their faithfulness. And this is a key New Testament truth. In Romans 1:17, Galatians 3:11, Hebrews 10:38, this verse is quoted. The righteous shall live by their faith. So you've got to stand at your post. Stay there, Habakkuk. You might have fear in your eyes. You might wonder what is going to happen, but God is not delaying his answer. It is going to come. Put up the sign. Wait until it's going to happen. All right. So the proud are trusting in themselves. What about the righteous? The righteous are living by their faithfulness. The righteous are living by trusting in God. So what is God saying to Habakkuk? And what is he saying to us today? And how does this help us to understand our perplexities and to understand them? Well, first of all, the righteous do not live by having all the answers. Habakkuk doesn't have all the answers. God gives him a little bit. Just wait, just wait. And he's going to keep on living. He's going to continue to stand there. He's not going to abandon his post. He doesn't understand, but he's going to trust God. The proud trust in themselves. The righteous trust in God. You do not understand. I do not understand. Habakkuk did not understand, but God has the answers. God knows what he is doing. You cannot look within yourself and find the answers. And that's the problem with this world today. People abandon God and they think you can find the answer within yourself. No. The righteous live by putting their faith in God. So God's answer here to Habakkuk is you need to trust what God is doing. God knows what he is doing. God wants a relationship with us. Relationship means trust. You know what it's like when a trust is broken. It ruins the relationship. Don't ruin your relationship with God. Trust him. Trust what he is doing. These proud, these people with the wrong spirit, do not trust God. They trust themselves. They trust their figurative dragnet. They worship the dragnet, not the creator. If you're not trusting in God, the only other thing you're trusting in is yourself. Do you really trust yourself? Look at your past life and all the mistakes you've made. You really want to continue to trust yourself? But people do that. They don't want to heed God. If you don't live by faith, then you're trusting in yourself. You will be disappointed. You have been disappointed. What makes you think things are going to change? Now, the key message I quoted earlier from Hebrews 11, where this is found, is that people live by trusting God. People of faith will trust God. They don't trust their understanding. They don't have the answers. Noah was warned something about water and build an ark. What is this all about? He did it. He didn't understand it. Nobody in the ancient world understood what was going on. Abraham was told, pack up from Ur, off you go to a different land I will show you. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't understand, but he trusted God. Later on, he's told, you have a son. You offer that son, but this is the heir. Why would I? But he did it. He trusted God. Israel was led out of slavery, and they were led right to the edge of the sea, and they're going to die. But by faith, Moses was there calming them down. God got them through the Red Sea. The walls of Jericho collapsed. Who could imagine marching around 7 days, 7 times? That is going to cause the walls to collapse. Shouldn't do it. Shouldn't be done, but it did. And the Hebrew author mentions these, and he's emphasizing they only did it because of their faithfulness. They had faith in God. And the righteous live by putting their faith in God. It's so easy to follow God or to trust somebody when things are going well, things are going great. It's when things are going wrong, when you don't understand, when you're falling on your knees like Habakkuk is doing and saying, Lord, I'm afraid. Fire's falling out of the sky. Are you not going to help me? So that is when it is difficult, but that is when we must be faithful and hang on the strongest of all. So the big message here, God is never late for the faithful if they will only wait for him. We're asked to trust God even when we don't understand. Habakkuk did not understand, but he said, I will stand here. I will wait. I will watch and see what he does. In Hebrews 11, we see many examples of people who didn't understand, but they had the faith, they maintained that faith, and they were going to stick and trust to God, even though they did not understand. Those who are proud, those who are filled with pride, don't trust unless they understand. But we're told, you remain faithful, you trust, you obey, and you remain faithful unto death.